Look, it made Australia seem a basket case tonight. But in one area, it seems Britain is far worse. It's gender politics. In fact, the British government has been shamed into ordering an investigation into a school which didn't just let one child identify as a cat, but abused another student, a girl, who said, well, this is nuts. Here's a tape of her confrontation with an angry teacher.
How dare you? You've just really upset someone. Saying things like, should be in an asylum.
I didn't say that. I just said if they want to identify as a cat or something, then they're like genuinely unwell.
Then they've gone.
Yeah, they're crazy.
You were questioning their identity.
No, I wasn't a question. I was just saying about the gender. I didn't say anything about them.
But where did you get this idea from? There's only two genders.
I just think it's my opinion.
That is my opinion.
If I respect their opinion, can't they respect my opinion?
It is not an opinion. Confusing sex and gender.
No, I'm not though, because if you have a vagina, you're a girl. If you have a penis, you're a boy.
Yeah, you can't have a vagina and be a girl. But then
unless you get surgery, and even then, because you've got those genes.
How you identity. How you identify. It's not an opinion that we're expressing this
Yes,
school.
it is.
No, it's not. And if you don't like it, you need to go to a different school. So I'm reporting.
Go to a different school. And it's not just one school where this is happening too. In Scotland, another teacher bullied a student who also said, hey, listen, sir, this is just two genders, male and female. Joining me from London is Patrick Christys, host at GB News. Patrick, great to see you again. What is going on in Britain's schools?
What is going on in Britain's schools is damaging, dangerous and should be illegal, and we now need to protect our pupils from woke, lefty, idiotic teachers who are trying to warp their young minds with this gender nonsense. We have three issues, Andrew, running concurrently. The first is that children are being forced to believe by their teachers that there are up to 100 genders, and if they refuse to believe that, then they can get expelled, excluded, or even reported to the police. The other issue is that the brave teachers who stand up to this madness are getting cancelled by what I call the trans mafia. There was a teacher who refused to use new pronouns for a 9-year-old girl. And what happened was that they were sacked, they had to pay legal costs, and she's now going to have to sell her house. And that's why I call them the mafia, because they want to take everything from you, your job, your money, and your house, if you don't conform to this non-scientific absolute tosh that's taking place. But the other issue that you've identified there is that right now, in British schools, children are being allowed to identify as animals and inanimate objects. Cats, dogs, dinosaurs, horses, and even in one case, the moon. And this is absolutely outrageous. And when children stand up against this, their education is being compromised, of course, their safety in the case of the trans situation is being compromised. They are absolutely hounded out. The government wants to stop this, but the government is facing a really big barrier from militant elements of the teaching union, which are intent on pushing this kind of nonsense onto children. Look, Andrew, I don't know about you, but I want teachers to teach my kids how to identify as doctors, accountants, all right, maybe not accountants, lawyers, you know, people who are actually active in public service and in our economy. I do not want them to teach my child how to be a cat.
I think it's so funny that, you know, a child who just thinks, hey, look, this girl is a girl, she's not a cat. And it's the teacher, the adult, that's freaking. I mean, seriously. I mean, and all this is occurring, of course, Patrick, after years of Conservative government, supposedly Conservative government. It makes me wonder, are Conservatives in Britain, you know, education ministers and what have you, really so hopeless as to let this happen under their watch?
What it is fear, and it's fear of cancellation, because the trans lobby and the LGBT lobby are a very, very powerful beast, and what they will do is they will come after you, and they've seen what J.K. Rowling has done, they've seen people like that, and that's where the problem has been. But what it has been is that it's been the slow creep of it, and people are now actually seeing the impact of this in their real lives, and they're being made to act. But teachers, I don't think, in the round, actually believe this stuff. They are worried that they'll lose their job if they don't push this onto children. Children are now being hounded out of schools if they then voice any kind of concern about it. But the big issue for me is this, is the quality of education, first and foremost, because children are having their learning stunted because there is someone barking like a dog at the back of their classroom and the teacher telling you that that's okay. What is also happening is that that child, who I would argue has obviously got some kind of mental health problem, is not really being looked after. They're being indulged, and that's not great. And then on top of that, of course, as well, you have the safety issue where even children as young as 8 or 9 years old can be forced to get changed and go to the toilet with someone who is of the opposite gender. And I think that is absolutely criminal.
Well, I also think that some of the kids identifying as cats or dinosaurs or dogs might just be having a lend of their teacher and rather enjoying the power trip as their teacher does 360-degree loops to try not to offend anyone. Patrick Christys, I'm so sorry we're short of time because I love talking to you. Give you more time next week. Hope to see you then. Thanks a lot.